What's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. It's hump day, actually, and we hope you're getting over the hump of the week. It's the Ryan Ripken Show. We are live at 5 here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. We aren't in the big studio on Mondays and Thursdays, but we still make it happen here. And really, there's only one topic that we're really going to get into today. Right, and that is that Joe Burrow is practicing for the Bengals, right, Zach?
Yeah, that's the only news that's gone down, right?
That's the only one that's gone
24 hours. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what? Hockey is back rocking and rolling as they continue on. We're going to talk about that. Our guests can come and talk about that. But all jokes aside here, the big news, if you were still up late or you saw us late, Grayson Rodriguez, young, talented Orioles pitcher, traded to the Los Angeles Angels for Taylor Ward. It's the biggest move of the offseason so far. So we're going to talk about that. And yes, Big Ben McDonald is going to join us here within the hour. And we're going to catch up with Big Ben, see how he's doing and get his opinion on the move and kind of what it all means or what we can expect moving forward. So that's all we got for that. But I'm Ryan Ripken on the Ryan Ripken Show. And joining me, if you're listening on the audio, hey, it's Zach Bollinger. Bolly, what's up, dude?
Yeah, it's been a pretty eventful 24 hours. I mean, nothing like sitting down watching Kansas versus Duke, checking your phone and being like, oh, Baltimore Orioles are trading away Grayson Rodriguez for Taylor Ward. Let's go talk about it. Very frantic evening. It always gets the heart pumping. You know, I will say I missed that feeling, that breaking news feeling of like everything. It slows down. Gotta like focus in. I'm like shaking, trying to make a thumbnail. Just, it's pure chaos, but I love it.
A lot of chaos here and a lot of opinions, by the way, in this whole situation. So what we'll get to our opinions here on this entire conversation. But before we do that, I got to shout out our friends over at Merit Clubs. As you guys know, Merit Clubs, big supporter of us. We are a big supporter of them. And we're getting towards the holiday season and giving back and giving thanks. Merit Clubs is offering the rest of the year, their Black Friday deal, I should say, starting November 21st, Zach. So in 2 days on Friday, run until November 30th. You can have a membership the rest of the year for $20.25. Get it? Because it's 2025.
Yeah, I like
and then
it.
if you're like, you know what, that price is still too high, cyber deals starting December 1st for just $1 the rest of 2025. So Zach, how do you spell $20.25 or $1?
MERRITT.
When I move, you move.
Just like that.
Just like that. Appreciate Merit Clubs. And we appreciate all of you and our channel members. I see a lot of the comments, and I know a lot of people want to talk about this whole situation with the Orioles because it is a shocking trade. It wasn't on my bingo card last night. I'm in bed, Zach, right? I'm like, you know what? We got our work done. And, of course, baseball makes moves at the most inconvenient times. The worst. But on top
if the
of
Orioles
it,
could make a move before 10 p.m., that would be fantastic. I would love that.
So there are a lot of opinions on both sides. The initial reaction for some fans is, what the hell are the Orioles doing? You traded away a young pitcher. I thought we needed pitching. That's one side of it. The other side is, well, I'm glad we got something for Grayson. Injury prone, and we just got an outfielder that I think's really underrated. That's what the other side of people are thinking. And to help break that down a little bit more, friend of the show, friend of the program, why don't we initially get the reaction of John Morosi? You thought I was about to say Ben McDonald. John Morosi first here was on MLB Network explaining both sides of the deal for the Angels and the Baltimore Orioles.
This is one of these trades, and this is not me ducking the question, but it's going to take some time to work through it. And that may sound funny. It's like, John, you got two players. What is there to sift through? Well, the health of Grayson Rodriguez is going to basically tell the story on this. And he has not thrown a pitch in more than a year. elbow issues, of course. If Grayson Rodriguez is healthy for the next 3 to 4 years, the Angels are going to feel really good about their
That's
end
a
of this
hot
trade.
take.
It is a hot take. On the opposite side, people might say, well, listen, what are the Orioles doing trading pitching when they need pitching? Well, the reason why this is a good deal for Baltimore is Taylor Ward has played in more than 150 games in each of the last 2 years. And then in this past year, he went 30 and 100. I know these are old-timey numbers. Games played, home runs, RBI. Guess what? If you go 30 and 100, you are doing your job for your team as a run-producing corner outfielder.
So right there, John, I think does a good job explaining this, and I will continue on with this conversation. First off, there's much more to this than just saying the Orioles went out and got a power bat, because it's not just that Taylor Ward was going to be the best bat that could be available, even though I think he's an underrated player and I think he's going to have tremendous value for the Orioles. But the bigger part here is why the Orioles made the move, because to John's point, if Grayson is healthy, the dude with team control and the upside of what he has done, that's a guy that can be a top end of the rotation. I'm not going to go as far as saying he could be a number one, Zach, because just injuries, what we've seen, but being a really good 2 or 3, he could. And very well, who knows? But the biggest issue and obstacle for Grayson is health. And since 2024, spent three times on the IL, twice in 2024, and then spent the entire season on it in 2025. And if you want to go back to 2022, when he was trying to get up to the big leagues, that's where the issues really started for him with his first lat issue, and that has continued to be a recurring theme, unfortunately, for him. So that's for the side, Zach. I think that people need to understand. I think the Angels, knowing Ward was going to be a free agent, then hey, makes sense. They're taking a gamble, but this wasn't that the Orioles are also saying for sure Grayson's not going to be that guy. They grew tired of the situation as well. Like, that is another part I think is not being talked about.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of times, especially in this kind of situation, fans and myself included, I'm not using this as a shot at Grayson, but I think fans are missing the thought of what Grayson Rodriguez could be rather than what he has shown. We all know the potential of Grayson Rodriguez. He was a top prospect coming up. When he pitches, when he's healthy, he has shown incredible stuff. But he hasn't stayed healthy. It's been disappointing when you come in with the fact that, hey, they were really hoping he'd be a part of that team in the playoffs in 24. He was going to be a big part of the rotation in 25. Neither of those happened. He hasn't pitched since July of 24. I think the potential is what people are like, and that's what the Angels are going for. This is a more or less proven commodity in Taylor Ward, getting 103 RBIs with no protection around you in LA. That's still on a bad baseball team. He was able to get a lot of RBIs. I like how John Morosi shows it. Yes, it's quote unquote old-timey numbers, but if you show up and play in 155 games and you show up and you hit 35 jacks and you drive in 100 RBIs, I saw a stat in shout at Pigtown Sports, 103 RBIs from last year for Taylor Ward. That is more than any player in the Mike Elias era has had in Baltimore. The highest before being Anthony Santander in 24 with 102. So this is a guy who gets runs in. You want to help a guy like Gunnar Henderson. You want to help Jordan Westburg, Adley Rutschman. When they get on, get a guy that can drive them in, because what was the big thing that they were missing after Santander left? Yeah, Santander, Tony wasn't always hitting 300. He had streaks where it was tough to watch because he would bat 180 over, 3-4 weeks. But even then, Rip, we've talked about this so much. It's knowing, okay, hey, I'm not hitting the ball well. Hey, I'm not hitting the long ball. I'm not hitting the doubles right now. but guy on third, less than 2 outs, I can hit a fly ball. I'll hit a weak fly ball to the warning track, middle of the outfield, and that's going to get a guy in. It's knowing and having the ability of getting guys in that you can add to the middle of the order. I think Ward slides into that 4 or 5 spot, and I think he is a very, I don't even want to call him underrated, because when you have 35 plus homers, you've hit I think it's 51 homers over the last 2 years. You drove in 103 last year. This is a guy who hit 280 before in his career. He's hitting the 270s. He's given up more contact for power recently, but I don't think it's necessarily that he's bad. He's one of the most patient hitters in baseball. I talked about before what was something that we loved about the 2023 approach offensively. Even if they weren't getting to pitchers, they were getting them out early. They were making you grind for every out, and that's something Taylor Ward does. On the surface level, John Morosi's right. We will figure this out on who won all of that when Grayson is either healthy or isn't over the past few years. But my biggest takeaway is, say what you want about Mike Elias. Everyone's always like, oh, he's always prepared for 2030. Mike Elias is always too worried about the 2030, 2031 teams. This was a move for 2026. This was a move where Mike Elias and them said, we want to win in 2026, and we're willing to take the risk that maybe a few years down the line, Grayson's doing well and Taylor isn't here anymore, but we want to win right now.
Yeah, they want to win right now. And overall, meow. I mean, look, Ward to me is an underrated player. I know people can look at the overall defense and say, is this just Tyler O'Neill 2.0? Is this just the guy that can bop and he's going to run into some balls here and there, and he's going to have RBIs? I like to use a little bit of a sample size, but I like to use more recency sample than what your career year. So his career year last year was 36 jacks and 103 ribbies. Hey, how you doing? You do that again, the Orioles fan base could be really happy, and they aren't going to care that he hits 228. But if he regresses somewhere to that 75 RBI, Zach, but a little bit better batting average, I still think it's a good, solid year for the Orioles. So if you get somewhere in the middle between that 75 ribbies and 103, that's going to be good. And the other reason why I bring this up, last year, a couple things I want to mention. The Baltimore Orioles only had one guy have more than 68 RBIs. Just kidding. They did it. Gunnar had 68. That's it. That's the list. No one above. So even a Taylor Ward from 2 years ago had more RBIs than any Baltimore Oriole this last year. Now, the other part that John Morosi brought up, which I think people devalue this, and I know they say, well, it's platoon play. I love the fact that Taylor Ward is coming over here because he's played 156 or more games in the last 2 years. So that's telling me the Orioles are saying, hey, Taylor, you are going to be out there. And for those that want to compare, well, it's Tyler O'Neill. Tyler O'Neill has not done what Taylor Ward has done for 2 consecutive seasons.
Yeah.
Going out there and this is what we call posting up, Zach. You got to go out there and you got to post up. Taylor Ward's been posting up the last couple years, and he's become a dependable player, whether you like that or not. So you get a dependable player.
Hey, Brian.
What?
Real quick, I have a blind resume for you. So I have 2 players.
Blind
resume. So player 1 played in 136 games last year, had 133 hits, hit 266 with 22 homers and 73 RBIs. Player 2 played in 157 games, 132 hits. He batted 228 with 36 home runs and 103 RBIs. On the surface, maybe you're leaning player 2.
That's Ward.
Player 2's Ward. Player 1, it's Kyle Tucker. Now, this was a down year for Tucker. We can admit that, especially towards the end. But sometimes I think people forget Taylor Ward, if he was a free agent, is probably the 3rd best outfielder on the market.
Yeah, no doubt, Zach.
This is them saying we don't necessarily think the names on the board fit us in the free agency, but this is a really solid guy that we can add to the team.
I mean, that's exactly right, Zach. I mean, when you look at where the dominant part of this offseason is, okay? Outfielder or left-handed bat, aka Kyle Schwarber, Kyle Tucker. Those are the top two guys. And then if you're looking at other right-handed bats, they're not outfielders. The next right-handed outfielder that teams would look to go to is Harrison Bader. Again, I like Harrison Bader. That's not the offensive firepower that Taylor Ward is. Harrison Bader would be an upgrade defensively. Taylor Ward is the upgrade offensively, and the Orioles need it. They need that part of it. So you're right. That's the move. But again, I want to emphasize this. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Things happen there where you move on from Grayson, whether you're worried that he can't get back to what he was. Sure, that could be one thing, or you are just sick and tired of the situation. And I think it's a combination of both. Because I told you, I want the best for Grayson. Spent time around the guy. I remember the day he was drafted and I was in the organization. And I remember looking at that guy having the bulldog approach. Great stuff. But his biggest problem is he's got to battle and grind through some adversity. And also he's got to stay healthy. And that's it. Like there's no sugarcoating that. That's the problem. If he was healthy last year, this deal would never have happened.
Yeah.
At all. Grayson Rodriguez would be probably on that front line. It would be Bradish, Trevor Rogers, and Grayson Rodriguez. And no one would be talking about this. And we'd be looking at maybe another player was traded for Taylor Ward if they were to do it. But this was because the Orioles were more so ready to move off. A guy with team control, you don't move off like that unless you either have a plan to maybe extend Taylor Ward, which I think that would be in the books, Zach. I really do.
And I don't know if he's going to cost that much. Like, that's the thing. And also, I want to say this. Like, Taylor Ward, I believe with arbitration and stuff, I think he's going to get in that 11 to 13 million, I think I saw somewhere. This is also, whether people want to admit this or not only is this the Orioles saying we're going to go all in on this year, that's them saying, hey, we know we have a lot of money wrapped up in Tyler O'Neill. We don't care. We will spend to improve this roster. This isn't a cheap deal. The Orioles didn't get rid of money here. They added money onto the payroll. So yeah. I know people want to think that, hey, the Orioles aren't going all in. And no, we haven't seen a superstar move. But this is them showing the willingness to spend and go to that next level and do what it takes to get back to being a contender.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, moves happen. People are going to be ticked off. Some people are going to feel like it's well, this is justifying my opinion because you can't rely on it. We're not going to know. You ain't going to know what's going to happen here for a little bit because you got to let things play out. And if you win games, people tend to forget about what happens. If we're going to go on the football side of it, you would have thought the world was ending in Baltimore just about a month ago. And then the Ravens have won 4 straight. And now it's like, hey, we're going to win the division, right? If the Orioles come out and Taylor Ward's just smacking balls all over Camden Yards, you're going to be sitting there going, damn, I knew it. This guy, that's it. It wouldn't matter if Grayson's out there has 20 wins. The Orioles win, people are going to calm down. But what I need for everyone else right now in the moment, if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button. We do this live at 5 now, Monday through Friday. We are in the big studio on Monday and Thursday, and that's typically where we do those interviews with our big guys. And sometimes when it's during the season, I can get this big son of a gun in the studio. But he's got to relax a little bit now, and it's technically, he ain't relaxing, Zach. I know that for a fact. But he's our friend. He's your friend. And the voice that you guys miss hearing in the offseason, can't wait to hear him when the season's going on, Mr. Ben McDonald. Ben.
What's happening?
What's going on? Oh, you got a little scruff going right now.
Yeah, man, I tell you, I'm thinking about cutting it off because there's a lot of blonde in it. There's more blonde in it than I wanted, So I don't wear one during the season. But, yeah, it's hunting season, so I've been kind of hanging out in the tree a little bit, trying to hide my face whenever I can. And I've just happened to be home because it's our anniversary today, so I promised my wife I would take her to dinner tonight. And so while she's getting dressed, I'm already ready. We're going to talk to you guys, talk a little baseball, which I'm excited to do.
Damn. Okay. Well, we'll tell. Hey, happy anniversary to you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have to text her now and congratulate. That's amazing. But also, I'm like, you didn't have to come on today.
Well, I mean, look, I was at home. Tomorrow I'm going to be up at the farm. I'm going to be hunting. And I figured if I'm going to get you and we're going to talk, it better be today because tomorrow going to be hard to get me. Going to be hard to get me.
Hey, fair enough. Okay, in this case, though, before we get into the baseball stuff, they say you got to get back on the horse. Well, you figuratively have gone back on the stand. I've seen
Yes.
some photos.
Yes, I have. After my fall back in when was that? June or July? Yeah. Look, it was weird to me. I thought I'm at home 20 foot off the ground. Let me say it like that. I've never had any fear of climbing or sitting or hunting 20 foot off the ground, and even higher than that from time to time. But of course, after what happened back during the summertime, I gotta be honest with you, it was a little bit shaky going up the tree for the first time and sitting there. Make sure, of course, I had my safety belt on. So I'm kind of getting used to it again in some ways, but I've never been scared of a whole lot in my life. And I got to be honest with you, the first time I climbed in the dark and climbed up there 20 foot, I went, oh man, I better be really careful and keep my hands on the limbs and trees and where it needs to be and make sure I got my safety belt cinched up a little bit. And of course, my wife reminds me all the time, make sure I said, baby, when I hunt, I always have my safety belt on. It's just I wasn't hunting that day. I was just checking stands. And of course, we all know what happened. But I'm thankful. Let me say this. I'm very thankful to be able to do that again. It could have been, should have been a lot worse than what it was. And I came out of it with just a concussion and some cracked vertebrae or whatever. So I was very fortunate. So, yeah, I'm thankful to be doing what I love to do again.
Yeah, I think I did. You post a photo of that? Did you take a little selfie getting back out there? Did I see that correctly?
Yeah. I posted a selfie and went up to Nebraska, drove all the way up to Nebraska and hunted there for 10 days and enjoyed that, man. And then been back home and just kind of been hanging out at my place a little bit and following the baseball news that's going on. So it's been a good off season so far. But I'll be honest, I'm starting to miss baseball already. I'm starting to get the itch, and especially with the moves that we're going to see coming up here in the near future, I think it's going to be an exciting off season for the Orioles for sure.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the offseason real quick, Ben. I don't know about you. I was ready to go to bed last night. Baseball has a way, especially it seems like the Birds. And they don't care what time of day it is. They're going to make some moves. And I go, all right, we got to talk about it. And I knew we understood they needed a right-handed bat, especially in the outfield, right? Your thoughts, though, do you think that the guy that they were going to be trading was going to be Grayson Rodriguez when you got that text last night?
No, I was like you guys. I was sitting on the couch watching TV, minding my own business, and it comes across my phone, dings or buzzes. I look at it and says, Grayson Rodriguez has been traded. I went, what? This has got to be a joke, one of these fake accounts that are out there. That's what I really thought until I looked into it and said, no, that's legit, and I was shocked. I'll be honest with you guys. I did not even see this one coming at all. I mean, this was the furthest thing away. I had in my mind some trade things I thought might happen, but I didn't see this coming at all. And today I'm still a little bit shocked as well. It's I'm a Grayson Rodriguez fan, like I know you guys are. A good kid who works hard, who obviously has a lot of potential. And when we talked last, y'all asked me what's the key for Grayson Rodriguez? How can he become a true ace? It was simple, like everybody said. He's got to stay on the field. Like he's got to go out there and make 30, 32 starts. That's the separator. Wasn't able to do that this year, obviously. And so I was shocked, but I was really, when I dug into it, it surprised me that you give up a guy that 4 years of club control versus a guy that's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. That's a little bit of a surprise. And if you would ask me, and I said this many times, the number one pickup I think the Orioles had to achieve this offseason was starting pitching. Like that, yes, they did do it out a right-handed bat. We know that. They did need an outfield right-handed bat. But I thought that might be number two on the list. And to see them give up a starter at the big league level surprised me in some ways. Now, I get it. And Taylor Ward, look, had a career year last year. The batting average wasn't great, but 36 long balls. I love the fact that he drove in runs. I mean, that's always an indicator for me. How do you perform in big situations? How do you perform at runners in scoring position? How do you perform with a runner at third base and less than 2 out? Can you find a way to get that run home? He did that last year, drove in over 100 runs last year. I think he had over 30 doubles last year, too. So it does check a box for me for the Orioles. I just wish Taylor Ward maybe had another year or two of club control would make a little bit more sense to me. But you still have the option to extend him if you choose to. You still have the option to sign him in the offseason once he becomes a free agent, if you like what he did for you. So, yeah, it was a shock. I feel like Grayson Rodriguez, and I might be wrong on this, was due to have one of those years, where he all of a sudden starts to string 2 or 3 years together of being very healthy. And we know potentially what he could do because we've seen it in the sample size when he is healthy. Like he can sit at the top of rotation and he can hold his own up there. And so that was a surprise thing for me. And I wish Grayson Rodriguez the best. I really do. I think he's a wonderful guy, a good kid. I think he's a hard worker. I think he's had some hard luck along the way. So hopefully he'll do well. But more importantly now, I hope Taylor Ward comes in here and, does what he did last year for the Angels. And it's a concern with Ward. I get it. Look, he struck out a lot. He struck out a lot last year. And if you would ask me, what do the Orioles really need to improve on offensively? I mean, take the Toronto Blue Jays. We saw what they did. A team that didn't strike out. They found a way to put balls in play with 2 strikes. They shortened their stroke a little bit. They found a way to put balls in play. The Orioles were towards the top last year in strikeouts. We all know that as a team. They need to cut that back this year. Now, you had a guy that potentially is going to strike out a lot. But, hey, if he hits 30-something homers, I can live with those strikeouts, right?
Yeah. The part where I was telling our listeners last year, this past year, when everyone goes, look at the Blue Jays. Well, first off, no one thought the Blue Jays would go from being one of the worst in the AL East to winning the AL East, to let alone being 2 outs away from winning the whole damn thing. They weren't spectacularly good looking at the stats pitching-wise. They were middle of the pack. Defense, they were middle of the pack. But where did they excel? Top batting average team in baseball, almost top in situational play, come from behind victories, late inning victories. That team was comfortable, just kind of similar like to the Orioles in 2023. They were comfortable in every moment, and their guys 1 through 9 were tough outs in the postseason. And that is important, and you need that, and I'm curious of how that's going to evolve. But one thing I like to describe guys, Ben, of having boppers. You need guys that are your RBI guys. Santander was that dude. No one replicated that last year. Not even did they not replicate it. No Oriole had more than 68 ribbies last year. Right. And here's another thing, Ben. Only 2 O's played more than 100 games last year. That's the crazy thing for me. And Ward, so there's an upside. I'm hoping they're saying, Ward, you're set and forget. We're going to put you out there. The other side, and I don't want to get into it too much with it, Ben, but you always wonder, when you make a decision, it seems like, in my opinion, I think the O's, you got to a point, you got a player that you wanted, but you also, it seemed like it was a restart. Like you make a move 4 years, is a lot of control for a guy that has as much upside as Grayson. I remember seeing that guy the day he got drafted. I remember watching him in the minor leagues. When he's healthy, he's great, but he's been on the IL 3 times in the last 2 years. And if he's healthy, Angels are going to get a good one. But doesn't that feel now different? Doesn't that feel different now? Elias said they wanted to go and they're going to get a bat to help this offense. And so far that's check one. They did. Yeah. It almost feels like they're going to have to make another move or two. If you had a wish list, if you had your Ben McDonald crystal ball, you think they come away with two starters in this offseason?
I think so. I think it could be something like, or what I'm hopeful for is a Dylan Cease kind of guy towards the top, a dude that answers. And look, I know Cease has had an ERA higher than you want it to be 2 of the last 3 years. I get that piece. But what I love about Dylan Cease is A, the stuff. B, is he post, right? I mean, you go back and look, the last 5 years, dude, it's, it's 200 plus Ks. It's 32 or more starts. I think he's the only guy in baseball that's done that the last 5 years. So you may not get the numbers all the time, but he's kind of an every other year kind of guy. Like he's due for one of those years where he punches out 230 and the ERA starts with a 2. That he's due for one of those kind of years because he's kind of every other. But what he does do is he posts every year. So yes, to answer your question, I still think whether it's a Framber Valdez, whether it's a Ranger Suarez, whether it's a Dylan Cease, you need one of those kind of guys. Because let's be honest, what we're looking at, guys, and you guys look at it too, but the Yankees are going to be great again. They're going to be really good with that pitching staff. That young kid, I can't remember his name, that came up at the end. My gosh, Schlittler, I think. You had him with what they got already there. And of course, Garrett Cole coming back. The Red Sox are going to be good. The Blue Jays are going to be good. Like, you need some dudes. And I'm not taking anything away from what the Orioles have, but if your goal is to get to the playoffs and your goal is to make deep runs in the playoffs, and we saw it again this year, man, pitching is king in the playoffs. Hitting becomes hard to score runs because you're running up against everybody's number 1, number 2, and number 3 every night in the playoffs. you got to have dudes on the mound to shut down offenses. Kyle Bradish is that guy for me. There's no doubt. Trevor Rogers, we know, look, he's not going to pitch as well as look, I hope he does, but chances are. But look, if the ERA starts with a 2 next year, that's a hell of a year. That's a real dude, right? You throw in a Dylan Cease in between those two guys or around those guys to go along with what you can mix in with Povich potentially and Tyler Wells and Dean Kramer. I like what the Orioles have, but I still think they need a top rotation piece and they need another guy, whether it's a Zach Eflin who can come along later on if they think he is healthy. Maybe he's not ready for the beginning of the year. Maybe you get by with Tyler Wells for 15 starts early, then all of a sudden Tyler Wells goes to the bullpen, and here comes a Zach Eflin kind of player that's all of a sudden gotten healthy, and he can take the ball in that spot the rest of the way. So there's still a lot of work to do. We knew that. And going back to Grayson Rodriguez, guys, my theory on this, and I may be off base by saying it, I think the Orioles, for whatever reason, when they got inside that arm and looked around or some medical report they saw, they didn't like what they saw. And I feel like maybe the Orioles said, okay, this is a guy we don't think, in our opinion, can stay healthy. And that's why we're going to move a guy with 4 years of experience and that kind of upside to it. Maybe that was the case, because that kind of makes sense to me. If they saw something that they didn't like, it's like, okay, it's time to move Grayson and give him another start. Let's get our right-handed bat. But I do like the fact that they checked the box with a right-handed bat. All of a sudden, the outfield becomes a little bit crowded. You start to wonder how you're going to spread it bats around now at the DH position. And it almost feels like there's something else coming, guys, to me. And so I think there's going to be a lot of those kind of moves that we're going to see this year for the Orioles. But I'm excited about – I hate it for Grayson because I was a Grayson fan, but I'm excited about the offense and the need that the Orioles needed was a right-handed power bat, and they've got their guy in Ward.
They did. And I know Zach's got a question for it, Ben, and then we'll wrap up. I feel left out, by the way, that I didn't have a beard. I just realized that. I shaved this morning.
You got time. You got time.
I feel naked right now, Ben. Like, I don't like this. I look like a ghost. I'm trying to look younger, man. Have you seen the Ripken, the genetics? Someone's calling me, hey, I saw your brother. I'm like, I don't have a brother. Oh, Cal. I'm like, oh, sugar. This is tough. Anyway.
Oh,
Zach,
good stuff.
Zach, what do you got?
Ben, obviously we just talked about the starting rotation. They need somebody there, whether it's a top end guy or Zach Eflin type or both, like you said. But another, spot for the Orioles that really seems open right now is that back end relief pitcher, that big name guy that you can bring in and you can trust to shut down the game. Obviously, Felix Bautista, hope for the best, but don't know when/if he comes back in 26. What are your thoughts on kind of how pressing of a need is it for the Orioles to go out there, and whether it's through trade or free agency, get a guy that you can hand the ball to in the ninth, and he's going to get you 3 outs to win?
Well, you got to have a dude at the back end. I mean, we all know that. And that's why the Orioles were so good in the years they had Felix Bautista, because when Felix came in the game was basically over. And that's what you feel like when you see a lot of these back end guys come in. I mean, I got to do the Padres and the Cubs, in the playoffs this year. And I saw, look, when the Padres came in, dude, when they got a lead in the 5th inning and they started bringing in those relievers that they had, it was over in some ways. Now, I know the Cubs went on and knocked them off, but still, I was impressed with what they have. And speaking of the Padres, I love Suarez. I think he's a dude. He's out there. It makes perfect sense because the Orioles already have his brother over here. I think it'd be a great reunion. I think it would be a comfort factor for both of those guys. Obviously, you got to pay him. You're going to have to pay him because the dude's going to command a lot of money. He's going to command probably a 4 or 5 year contract, I'm guessing. Maybe 3 years if you're lucky, if you overpay a little bit. But he's that kind of guy. And I saw him pitch, and I walked away going, that's one of the guys, or that's a dude that the Orioles need right there. Like, it makes perfect sense to me. There's other closers out there, but you got to have a guy like that sits at your back. And I love the fact they went and got Kittredge back. I think I'm in y'all's camp, too, when I talk about I like Andrew Kittredge. Like, he's been there, done that. He's got a slow heartbeat. He doesn't let the game speed himself up. He's a valuable commodity at the back end. So it was a good start to bring Kittredge back to the fold. There's no doubt about that. He's a guy that, could close for you in a pinch, but that's probably not his role. His role is more of a setup guy that can come in and whip that slider in there with that good sinker that he's got, and he can do a lot of damage like that. But the Orioles have a lot of work to do. But to me, it's going to have to be one of the top free agent closers that are out there. The experimentation of, I hope a guy can be a closer. We're going to go get a guy that we hope can happen. I think those days are gone for the Orioles right now. They are in win now mode. It has to be win now with proven pieces that you can plug in that can go and you say, this guy has done it. He has done it for 4 or 5 years. Barring some type of injury, he's our dude back there. I think that's where they are now.
And they got enough of the young dudes in that organization, that young nucleus. And Albernaz his goal is going to be help bring them along and win games, win with this young group, but bring in some veterans that know what they're doing. I like to call the high leverage guys. If someone surprises you, Ben, like Danny Coulomb to me was a guy that was, hey, you didn't expect him to just be that dude every time, but he became that.
Yes,
that's great. But you need to go get one or two of those guys that you know for a fact they really relish those opportunities. Their heart beats slow, like you said. So I'm right there with you. I'm excited to see it. Soon enough, it'll be, spring training will be in 3 months. And that'll be that. Hey, before I let you go, no baseball aside, hey, I hadn't seen you since I got married. So, I mean, you and Nikki are great. I know you annoy the hell out of her, and believe me, I do that to Jamie. What you got some marital advice for me, Ben?
Wow. Yeah, man, I could almost write a book.
I'm sure you could.
Right. Learn to do this a lot. Yes, hon. Yes, hon. And the other thing is pick your battles, man. Like, you got to know, like Kenny Rogers once said, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And I think in a marriage, you got to know when to fold them every now and then. And look, I'm as bullheaded as anybody. But after she's thrown enough stuff at me and snuck around and beat me with a broom every now and then, I've learned to go, yes, hon, and then get in my truck and talk to myself. When I go to the hunting camp or I'm a dish, I'll talk to myself. And I'm going to tell you a quick, funny story.
Please.
Kevin Brown got me in trouble about 3 or 4 years ago. You guys might remember this. And he gets me in trouble all the time, like the hockey comment. He got me in trouble with the ESPN hockey comment. Yeah.
What hockey comment, Ben?
Whatever. I don't know. I still hadn't seen a hockey game yet. I don't. But anyway, I know it's on, and I didn't even know ESPN had a hockey contract, but I know now. I should know that since I kind of worked for ESPN. But look, I love the hockey guys. I just don't watch it. I'm saying? I respect them, and we talked about that. But anyway, Kevin asked me about 3 or 4 years ago. He goes, Ben, how many years have you been married? And of course, I just guessed. And look, my wife watches the Open, and she'll watch the first inning or two, and then she's done. Like she's watching Dateline or Dancing with the Stars, or she's going to bed or whatever. This was like in the 7th inning. So I was free just to throw a number out there, I felt like. And of course, I guessed, and I said 26 years. Because I couldn't remember. I said 26 years. Well, I'm talking about 30 seconds later, I hear my phone goes, zzz, zzz, I can hear it buzz. And it said in capital letters, it says, it's 28 years and you're an asshole. And this was in the 7th inning, and all in capital letters. All good. I was like, Kevin, so I showed him the commercial. I went, look, bro, see how you get me in trouble? Like it's like she just happened, and she never listens or watches past the 7th inning ever. And but it got me that night. So yeah, I took some heat for that one. But it's 30. Look, I added it up and took a calculator. It's 31 years. I'm not going to mess this one up. So it's 31 years today.
Hey, you know what? You're doing something right, both of you. If it's 31 years and strong, and you know what? Yeah, I told Kevin I gotta get him on here because he's got some stories. I love the stories, but I learned a lot. I learned to bob my head. Yes, dear. Remember anniversaries.
Yes. Birthdays. Don't forget birthdays and anniversaries. Those are very, very important. And talking, that's something that I like to talk when I'm talking to you guys and talk about baseball, but talking about other kind of things I'm not very good at, but I've learned to try to hold conversations and act like I'm interested in those conversations. And so that's a big piece of it too, So she just wants me to spend some time with her every now and then. Not a whole lot of time, because sometimes she's like, when I got home a couple of days ago, she's like, okay, when are you leaving to go hunting again? And when does baseball season start again? So she doesn't want me around a whole lot, but a little bit is nice anyway.
It's like she hits her quota for you. That's like Jamie.
Yeah.
I was there. I said, oh, hey, we want to hang out. And it reached an hour. And she's like, if you want to go and do something else. I'm like, oh, no, this is good. This is good. No. And that was words for get the hell out of my face. I need my time. I'm like, all right, love you. I'll see you later.
I don't read. I do not read many books, but she gave me a book to read, the Five Love Languages, I think it was, and I read that book. I don't remember much about it. Didn't have enough pictures in it for me, but I did read it and tried to apply it along the way too. So that's probably a pretty good book to read too.
What's your love language, Ben?
Nikki, what would you say my love language is if you had to guess?
Hunting.
That's not one of the five. Hunting is not one of the five. What
So
would
it's
you
like
say?
it's like gifts, physical touch.
Physical touch. Mine is definitely physical touch. That's what I was waiting for her to say. I'm a touchy-feely kind of person. Mine's physical touch. She likes to talk,
Hey,
Not, of course, but my physical touch, I aggravate her a little bit too, so.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like you in that way, just without the Southern accent, and I'm not climbing up in the tree stands. That's about it. So
I understand.
Well, hey, you guys enjoy. You guys are the best. Yeah. I'm going to text Nikki. Happy anniversary for you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy yourself. Be safe, by the way. I don't need to hear anything when I talk to my dad later on. I'm going, what the hell happened to Ben? Be good. We'll come down there and whoop your ass. All right.
Believe me, that was my one chance. And I'm being very, very, I'm not a kid. I don't have 9 of these. I only had 1 to give. And I think the good Lord blessed me with that one. And so I'm not going to screw it up again. I'm not going to do that.
Good. All right. You guys go enjoy. All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Ben. Take care. Y'all be good.
Thanks, Ben. Ben McDonald, everybody. The best. Nikki and Ben are like the pinnacle. Best. It's been really cool for me, Zach, growing up. And I knew Ben a little bit as a kid, and then you get a little bit older, and now as I'm an adult, and you've been around Ben too, it's just really cool to hear their interactions. Yeah. And Nikki is amazing, and she's amazing because she puts up with Ben. That's part of what makes her amazing. The other part is that she's just such a genuine human being. They are the best, and Ben is a great baseball mind too. I think he shares with a lot of people the shock of Grayson just being traded.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting. But if you guys are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live every day at 5, Monday through Friday here. Also, by the way, Tom, I didn't get a chance to get to you here.
Oh, my God. Tom. I'll stand. Tom. Oh.
Nope.
Appreciate you, Tom.
And if you want to be a part of the channel, members, click that join button. It allows us to do more cool things, give you more access. Luckily, I got a great relationship with Big Ben there, but it allows us to continue to give you guys great experiences. And so we appreciate you all. So thank you to our channel members, the Ribs Good Kids and the Ribs Better Kids. I did have a Rip After Dark this past Sunday or Saturday, so I might have some of that because James got travel, Zach. So it's just, I might
just you and your thoughts.
Me and my thoughts. I might watch more Huggies commercials with Giannis popping up on the screen. I still can't believe that they have "Stand Up" by Ludacris is the background song of that.
It's a lot to take into one commercial. It's just a lot to take in.
It's a lot to take in. What takeaway for you from that with Big Ben right there?
One, absolutely love that he is also in on Suarez probably being the guy that can, I want to say, put the Orioles over, but really bring that bullpen together. I feel like that's he's a guy that if they're able to go get Robert Suarez. We talk about Ward hopefully being a plug and forget it guy. Suarez is that, in the late innings, okay. And I'm also, I will say, love that he brought up Kittredge because that was actually going to be my follow-up question is we haven't talked since Kittredge came back. Like thoughts on that? Glad he talked about that as well. Man, if the Orioles can go out there, I think add Taylor Ward to the lineup. Maybe he's on to something because the outfield is pretty. I mean, it's congested. There have been less congested outfields in the past. That is for sure. A lot of potential to play too. I mean, obviously, you look at Taylor Ward, you look at Tyler O'Neill. Those are your quote unquote known commodities. Those are your veterans. But then you have Cowser, you have Beavers, you have these guys that you now have to kind of work into where are we going to play these guys? Because, okay, when Taylor Ward's playing, is Tyler O'Neill a DH? Okay, now Tyler O'Neill's a DH. Does that mean Basayo's getting less, at bats? Does that mean Adley's getting less at bats? Okay, we also have Mayo and Mountcastle. One of them has to be a DH. So I think I'm in. I think I'm in on with Ben. Maybe there's something on the horizon. More to this story to complete it, because man, they got an abundance of talent out there. And if they can just find a way to maybe trade, include something in a trade, whether it's for, heck, doesn't have to be, if you go get Robert Suarez, you don't have to get a big time arm in the bullpen. Go get you another guy that you can put in the 7th, 8th inning. It's going to get you 3 outs. That's all that matters. I think this team, Mike Elias, by getting rid of Grayson, with 4 years of control for a guy that helps you immediately and just this season, this is a more aggressive route than we've ever seen Mike Elias take before. So people wanted to see a different Mike. I think this is from the beginning of this season when they signed Albernaz, and now really Albernaz picking his entire, coaching staff. It seems it feels like maybe there's a different energy around the Orioles in the front office, and maybe a more aggressive energy as well.
I mean, we're going to figure out and hear a lot here down the stretch. We plan to be at the winter meetings December 7th. We'll be down there, and we plan to have a few conversations. So we're going to continue to see what happens from there all the way from now until all the way to then, till after. It's going to be an evolving process here. Just like in the future, does that mean the Orioles are going to try to get one of the top starters like a Dylan Cease, Framber Valdez, or Zach Gallen? Well, guess what? You got to stay tuned. Maybe tomorrow that will be the conversation. It's a fun one today, Zach. It's always fun with Ben, man. It's always
when
fun.
Ben McDonald's on, it's going to be a good time. He's always got some story that you are like, just you ask him one thing and suddenly he's like, I got a story, and you just let him go. The one thing I think, I've learned doing this more than anything is when Ben McDonald's got something to say, you let him say it, because you never know where that thing's going to end up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad he brought up the hockey thing. I was going to bring it up anyway.
I know that was such a great. I mean, it's been on. I haven't watched it.
So the thing with him, when I've talked to him, and everyone that knows Ben, we talked about this before.
Yeah,
he genuinely loves like hockey players and people. He didn't mean it as a diss to hockey. He's like, I go hunting when I have my time.
Yeah,
I go hunting, and then I'm watching baseball because I'm living baseball. Like that's his thing. I feel like I also want to develop a Southern accent when I'm around him, like, oh, sugar. Like I want to. I do say oh, sugar anyway, but he's great. But hey, he said it too with Suarez. If I'm going to put my hat on here, Zach, like Robert Suarez. If that was my stamp of saying, I'm not even going to say it's bold. I believe he is going to be a Baltimore. I'm going to say it out loud. I'm going to put it into existence. Ben feels the same way too. Robert Suarez is that guy that fits all the boxes, and you want to make sure someone can fit in. Well, if you like your brother, I guess you can love your brother, but you got to like him. If you like your brother, well, then being on the same team, that should be a plus when you're trying to help build up guys being comfortable in a place. So I'm excited. It should be great for our I had the trivia question still up earlier. Who do you think got the better deal so far? Interesting poll, Zach. Angels 25%, Orioles 29%, and I put works well for both at 45%. So the majority believe that this is going to benefit both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is all what it's going to come down. Like we're not going to get the full answer this year. Now we will say this: if the Orioles win the AL East and they go to the World Series, and let alone they win it, but they go to the World Series and Taylor Ward was a huge part of that. Even if Grayson goes on to have 6 6, 7 straight unbelievable years, people are going to say it was a win. Why? This city, this community, the fan base in Baltimore has been desperate to see the team get to the World Series. It's been 42 years since the Baltimore Orioles have been World Series champions, then let alone just being in the World Series. And it's few and far between for the playoff appearances. So we get it, and we get you guys. So hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. Do this live every Monday through Friday at 5.
Live at 5.
Did I say I didn't say this? I still don't understand the whole 6, 7 thing.
It means nothing. It means nothing. It's just a thing.
See why would you do that? If it clearly doesn't mean something, it means something
to
you.
It means it's like it literally means nothing. Like I've tried for so long.
I tried so hard and got so far, Zach, but in the end, it doesn't really matter. I was hoping you'd pick up on this.
It doesn't even matter.
Wow, who's okay? If you
I
get
don't know. No. I don't. I'm not going to go that far. I don't know who sings it. I can't go that far, but
damn. Any other topic we wanted to get into, Zach? I know housekeeping. You know what I liked? I did like right there that you had the blind rankings. That might be something, or the blind resumes.
Yeah.
That might be something that we get into.
Because I was curious. I looked it up, and all of a sudden I was like, obviously the on-base percentage stuff, but I mean, slugging went to Ward. There's some things, it's not as big of a, I guess, drastic as a difference as maybe some are thinking that the Orioles got some bum. I don't think that's the case at all.
Yeah, we will. So I think tomorrow the other possibility is going maybe more in depth on some of the top free agents. Yesterday's show, we talked about Josh Naylor. We are seeing maybe there are more reports about Cody Bellinger, where the fits are. For him, obviously a couple of the other pitchers, and then a day in the life, something happens. But we do have a big Angels fan that is known in the football broadcasting space. Specifically, he's been a lot with fantasy football, but he loves the Chicago Bears, and he became a friend of the show, friend of the program this past Super Bowl when we were down at Media Row. We might have him on Monday, Zach. And we're working on a couple guests tomorrow. So it's been great. And for our channel members too, we're going to try to make sure we can create more of what you want. And for some of our interviews, which we're going to try to line up just with like Big Ben's time, if we can in the future, we're going to try to get a couple questions to be answered for our guests that come in, especially the ones that we know very closely, where we know that, hey, they'll just shoot the shit with the boys. And that's something that we love. And you know what? We love this, but we really appreciate you, Jonathan.
Really appreciate it.
Jonathan says, love the channel and content, guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you. You guys watching this makes it happen. We are trying to expand here. Obviously, we got our Maryland roots, and baseball will be our backbone, but we talk football and baseball mainly all year round. And maybe going into 2026, we're going to continue to expand, not just as a media show, but maybe looking at it as a media entity here with more options and opportunities, and with some of our partners that could be coming to the table in 2026, making it better for you. We're trying to enhance here at the Ryan Ripken Show. And if you are new, hit that like and subscribe button. If you want to be a part of the channel members, click that join button next to subscribe. It's right there. Be a good kid or be a better kid. Whammy. Any other things you want to tell the audience here, Zach?
No, I think we're good. I mean, obviously this is not football or baseball related at all, but did you see Tulane's coach?
Oh, the soundbite. That was a good soundbite.
him just being like, if we're a top 25 teams, there must be a lot of crappy college teams out there this season.
We're average at best.
Yeah,
I think he said
that was an insane. He's like, no, I don't think I look at us sometimes and think we're a bottom 25 college football team. That was such a Saban answer. It's unreal. Like, could you not see Saban? They're a top 2 team in the country. It's like, coach, you're number 1 in the country. Where he's like, there must be bad football because I look at us as the worst team in the country. Sometimes I watch practice out there and there's nothing.
You know what we should. Oh, that could be a fun segment of. It's hard because we either go back and find. So each week we have the book club, or the movie club. So we had Tommy Boy. I think this next week, do we do Miracle?
I think
Miracle for Tim Kirchin?
Yeah, for Tim.
Okay. So we'll do that. And then tomorrow we'll be back to do it again. But I think the press conference, maybe we find the best sound bites from press conferences each week. That could be fun. Could be a fun little Friday thing. And also, speaking of Friday, we might be down at Liv's Tavern here. Hey, how you doing? Having a little fun here in Federal Hill. What?
That says, are we on for Friday? Is that a thing happening?
We can be on.
Oh, all right, maybe. So I guess, hey, maybe we're on Friday. Lives. I feel like that. Live. It's like lives.
And I'll be out of my hologram. I'll actually be in the real studio. We'll be in the real studio tomorrow for the show. And we'll let you guys know what we have in store there. But again, hit that like and subscribe button. This has been a great show. I see you guys on YouTube, X, and Facebook. You guys rock. You're great. I don't care what Zach says about you. You guys are fantastic.
Yeah, and I'll say it again.
Oh, you'd say it again?
Yeah, I'd say it again.
Okay. All right. Well, in this case, do I even try pressing the music?
Just try it.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's like half coming through.
As always, here on the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. You have a day, you have a night, have a great stinking rest of your Wednesday. We hope to see you tomorrow live at 5 here on the Ryan Ripken Show.